And when you're a WWE superstar, you're not going to get along with every person in the locker room. Naturally, the locker room is full of different personalities, and sometimes these personalities are going to clash. These real-life feuds are often kept private, but sometimes they spill into the public sphere, and the superstars reveal private details as to why they have a strong dislike for each other. Or which wrestlers were they? Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who are real-life enemies. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. Now, the issues between Riddle and Seth Rollins began all the way back in 2019 when Riddle's wife took to Instagram to post a rather negative post regarding the appearance of Becky Lynch. This didn't sit well with Rollins, and he made his quest to never work with Riddle in any capacity. During a 2021 interview with TalkSport, Riddle addressed the issues between himself and the former WWE champion, and he revealed, "I'll be honest, I met Seth multiple times and he's met me, and I don't think we'll ever be best friends. I don't think we like one another. We're just two different people. Although we both love wrestling, I know my significant other said something about Becky that they didn't like, and I also didn't like or agree with it. Seth didn't like me after that, and I don't think Becky liked me or my wife either, which is understandable. It is what it is." Rollins and Riddle ended up working together in early 2022, so it's unclear what the status of their working relationship is now. The two, in all likelihood, still have a ton of negative thoughts in relation to each other, but they decide to put their differences aside when they faced off in the ring. Number 9. Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. Now, although nothing has ever been confirmed by either woman, it's common rumor that Becky Lynch and Nia Jax aren't the biggest fans of each other. This all began in 2018 when Nia legitimately broke Becky's nose on Raw. This was done with a stiff punch to Becky's face, and since that incident, fans have called out Nia for being one of the most reckless and most unprofessional talents to ever step in the WWE ring. Becky and Nia never worked together in a match following the incident, and fans have always put this down to the two not liking each other. Now, this does have some weight to it, as it does seem strange that WWE have never booked the two to face off, especially how publicized Becky's injury was. Since her release in 2021, Nia has gone public on social media in relation to her thoughts on everything from politics to the COVID vaccine. Unfortunately, some of these viewpoints were controversial and offensive to some. She even decided to compare compulsory mask wearing to the horrors of the Ukrainian war. This led to Becky unfollowing Nia on social media, finally supporting the notion that Becky isn't Nia's #1 fan. Number 8. AJ Styles and Paul Heyman. The phenomenal AJ Styles and Paul Heyman had a great relationship whilst Heyman was running Raw between 2019 to 2020. AJ was one of Heyman's personal favourites, and he truly believed that AJ was one of the best to ever be under the WWE umbrella. However, this relationship completely disintegrated in 2020 after AJ's good friends Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were released from WWE. AJ believed that Heyman somehow had something to do with this release, or if he didn't have a direct part in it, he should have lobbied for them to stay in the company. Now, this seems like a huge overreaction on the part of AJ, as Heyman wasn't involved in these key decisions. He was just part of the creative team. Nevertheless, the once strong relationship was now hostile, and AJ wants nothing to do with Heyman. The two would even be separated and sent to different shows, and the two working together ever again is likely never going to happen. Number 7. Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. When Ronda Rousey joined the WWE in 2018, one of the female stars she worked with a lot was Alexa Bliss. Although it's unclear until several months later, the two didn't have the best time working with each other. According to Bliss, Ronda was overly stiff with her in the ring, and she was almost out for a year due to Ronda's recklessness. This was later supported by Nia Jax in several interviews, who claimed that the relationship between the two wasn't great, and Nia heavily implied that Ronda took liberties with Bliss. Bliss continued to support the rumors of hostility between the two when Ronda returned to the company in 2022. When Ronda won the Women's Royal Rumble, Bliss would tweet, "What a surprise," clearly showing a lack of excitement for Ronda's return to the company. Number 6. Goldberg and Matt Riddle. A WWE superstar, Matt Riddle never shies away from voicing his opinions. Throughout his wrestling career, one of the superstars he's never been fond of is Goldberg. Riddle enjoys mocking Goldberg's wrestling style and has publicly declared that Goldberg is far too dangerous to be in the ring. Naturally, these comments don't sit well with Goldberg, and in a 2021 interview with Days In, Goldberg would use a rather crude word to describe what he thinks of Matt Riddle. He would state, "Yeah, the cocky kid, Riddle spouting off his mouth in the beginning, and I didn't appreciate it very much by any stretch of the imagination. But the guy has put a lot of freaking hard work, and he's dedicated his life to this business. Whether I like him as a human being or not, I have to understand and appreciate his passion for the business and his work ethic. Because he works hard and that I appreciate as an athlete and as a human. He's a prick sometimes, absolutely, but that's him, that's his character, so am I." Number 5. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair were once best friends, but in 2021 fans found out that that was no longer the case. The two popular WWE stars used to be inseparable, but over the years, as both progressed in their careers, they were torn apart. They once again traveled from city to city with each other, but now it looks like they don't even speak. It's unclear what's led to this, but it's believed that it has a lot to do with Becky's rise in popularity and this rubbing Charlotte the wrong way. Additionally, both men have managed to find the loves of their life, this meaning that they have less time to hang out with each other and possibly discuss any issues in their friendship. Number 4. Sonya Deville and Charlotte Flair. Now, it's not just Becky Lynch who has personal issues with Charlotte Flair, as Sonya Deville isn't exactly Charlotte's #1 fan either. The issue between the two was highlighted following the infamous Championship Exchange segment in 2021. The segment was to see Becky and Charlotte Flair exchange their respective championships, but Charlotte decided to go off script in order to make Becky look as bad as possible. The issue here was that in doing this rather unprofessional act, it wasn't just Becky that Charlotte was making look bad, it was WWE official Sonya Deville too. Sonya was in the ring for the ceremony, and Charlotte going off script made her character look weak and seriously damaged the legitimacy of their on-air authoritative presence. When they came back through the curtain, Sonya was rightly furious, and reports stated that she was ready to fight Charlotte, but it's unclear if anything of a physical nature went down. It's probably for the best that Charlotte keeps away from the former MMA star. Number 3. Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar. Riddle believed that he should be the one who retires Lesnar, and whilst Riddle never said anything too derogatory towards Lesnar, Lesnar absolutely loathes the former US champion. In fact, when the two encountered each other backstage at the 2020 Royal Rumble, Lesnar informed Riddle that they were never going to work with each other in any capacity. They shut down Riddle for a while, but it wasn't before too long that Riddle was once again declaring that he should have been the one who retires the UFC and WWE legend. The two have actually worked together following this hostile exchange, but these were in multi-man matches, and the chances of the two working together in any singles program are rather slim. Number 2. Booker T and Corey Graves. In 2018, the real-life issues between Booker T and Corey Graves became the talk of the wrestling world. Booker on his podcast would claim that Graves was the reason why he wasn't a commentator on Raw, and key figures in the WWE believed that Booker was going to randomly attack him. Booker would state, "Corey Graves, right now I wouldn't necessarily say he's on my bad side, but he's the reason that I'm not on Monday Night Raw right now. Because you know what? A lot of people in the company thought I was going to jump on him. I was going to do something bad to him. I was going to drag him. I was going to take him out to the woodshed. I was going to beat that man so bad. I was going to beat him until this man say, please, 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 just don't beat me anymore." Eventually, Graves appeared on Booker's podcast, and the two claimed that they were working an angle. This absolutely baffled fans, and even Michael Cole pondered why the two non-wrestlers would work an angle. What was the payoff? This led to fans to speculate that the two did have true real-life tension, and the WWE forced them to try and resolve their issues. It's unknown what the true nature of the relationship is, but there's no way Booker's comments were said with the initial intention of working a storyline. And number 1, Matt Riddle and Roman Reigns. Now, if there's one person you don't want to make an enemy out of in WWE, it's the resident top guy in the company. Unfortunately, it looks like this is exactly what Riddle has managed to achieve. In a 2021 interview with Bleacher Report, Riddle would claim that he could beat Roman Reigns in a real-life fight. He stated, "No disrespect to Roman, he seems like a swell fella, but at the same time, it's like when people say they're a good parent. You know what? If you were a good parent, your kids will be telling you you're a good parent. When he's saying, 'Acknowledge me or I move the needle,' no you don't. You're related to The Rock. Shut up. Like I'm not impressed. I can beat you up in a real fight, so shut your mouth." And these comments overstepped the mark, and they went beyond Riddle trying to work an angle. A few months later, he revealed that Reigns was furious with his comments, and that he was informed that he needed to write an apology letter. This is something that the tribal chief outright rejected. Well, there you have it, folks. 10 WWE wrestlers who are real life enemies. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.